Hello, I'm Simon Owens, and this is my daily vlog. Today, I wanted to talk about online video. As you may have heard, MTV News laid off several of its editorial staff yesterday, and they're quote unquote pivoting to online video. Over the last few years, they had been heavily investing in text long form journalism. After the closing of Grantland, they hired away a few of its former editors and writers and had been, hiring editors from BuzzFeed. They hired Anna Marie Cox. So they had really been investing in long form articles, 4,000, 6,000 words. There were reports that while this increased time on site, it also led, at least in part, to a decrease in traffic. So by pivoting to video, they're doing what a lot of other publications have a path that they've taken in the last few years. Last year, for instance, Mashable laid off several of its editorial staff because they were also pivoting to video. We see it all has headlines all the time. Not always layoffs of tech staff, but we're seeing more and more publications really trying to get in on the video game. But I think that this is leading to kind of a massive video bubble that's going to be popping pretty soon. So why are they pivoting to video? It's because video display advertising on text has been the CPM value of it has been declining for over a decade. And so a lot of publishers see that video is getting higher CPM, in some cases almost as high as what you'll see the CPM on traditional television and cable. So it's kind of like a gold rush where they're all rushing to it and trying to get on those higher CPMs. But in doing so, I don't. I don't think that they realize that the mountain that they're climbing and that getting into video is harder than it looks. But also, they're using really cheap gimmicks to drum up video views, which is decreasing the value of those videos much in the same way that they decrease the value of display advertising. So, in terms of creating the video itself, I think a lot of these publishers are in for a rude awakening that it's incredibly difficult to get people to watch video. Like, I've worked at various news organizations where we tried to invest in video and have producers and editors, and we just found that other than the occasional video that really would just pop and spread, it was hard to get even 1,000 views on a single video, and those videos took a lot more time and energy to create than it would a traditional article. So I just think overall, publishers that think it's just going to be easy to hire a producer and a videographer or whatever, and all of a sudden they can plop their reporters in front of cameras and put in some B-roll footage, and all of a sudden millions of people are going to start watching it. I think they're just really in for a rude awakening, and they're not going to see the fruits of their labor. Luckily for MTV, their bread and butter is video, since they're obviously a TV station. So they might have better luck with this, especially in terms of repackaging stuff that is already on TV and already has an audience. But I think a lot of these publishers, like especially traditional print publishers, it's just an uphill battle, and we've seen some signs of that. Everywhere from the Huffington Post, which launched its own video initiative, to Washington Post, which had to vastly scale back its TV efforts or its online TV efforts after launching with a lot of fanfare a few years ago. The other thing is that, and this is the worst thing, is that publishers are just constantly juicing their numbers. I was doing some reading this morning, and I landed on an article from Sports Illustrated, and it had a video embedded at the top that auto-played, and the video had nothing to do with the article at all. And you're seeing this increasingly across sites after site. And the reason behind this is that they're using the same cheap gimmicks that they've used for text and image based articles, and they're moving that to video, and it's also indicative that they're having a lot harder time getting video views than they thought, because they're having to use cheap gimmicks to try to get people to watch them. And you saw this with display advertising. So this is why so many news publishers used to have slideshows. They used to have pagination, where you had to click through several different pages. They used, misleading headlines, every trick in the book to get people to click and share their articles. And really, they just created so much supply of online content, that's what in part drove down the display advertising. They also devalued their content by creating a lot of cheap content. So people who were coming into their articles, yeah, they were generating a lot of page views, but there was no kind of brand loyalty. And eventually advertisers caught on that they were just advertising on pages that were generating traffic, but no actual brand loyalty, and that drove down CPM. Same thing is happening with online video and all these autoplay ads. They're just really destroying their brand. They're actively hurting users. I've never met a single person who has ever said, you know what, I'm really glad that I saw that autoplay video. No, they're always scrambling to figure out where the pause button is so they can get on to reading the article that they came onto. So it's just showing time and time again that news publishers have just not learned anything about actually, something that Silicon Valley has really kind of accepted to its core, that it's all about the user. It's all about pleasing the user. News publishers just still don't recognize that. And then they had the nerve to turn around and complain about Facebook and Google stealing away all their advertising dollars. Well, when you stop treating your users like shit, then maybe I'll start feeling sorry for you. So yeah, I think that all these pivots to video, it's driving down the actual value of video. I don't think anybody's going to actually want to watch all this video, and it's just giving them another opportunity to basically treat their users like crap. I think that this video bubble is going to pop, and I definitely look forward to it happening.